Hello, this is my work-based learning module. This module has given me the opportunity to view different areas of the industry so I can understand and test the breadth of my skill set. It has also encouraged me to develop my skill set within the communication and creativity. I've developed the way I collaborate with others. During this time, I have had to be flexible by managing my 2 job roles with my time spent in study. But this has also given me the opportunity to apply the knowledge I've acquired during my undergraduate degree. This has meant that I've utilised a range of work-based learning strategies such as school-based enterprise and mentorship. For my work-based learning roles, I took on multiple positions. Firstly, I worked in an aesthetics salon and I was their social media and marketing advisor with the aim of increasing brand awareness in the local community. This was primarily achieved by redesigning their website, branding and social media content, and has resulted in increased consumer traffic and development of their online booking system. Secondly, I worked for a digital multimedia company, Gun Collective, and was appointed their podcast supervisor. I was creating, editing and uploading podcasts using a third-party website. Whilst in this position, I had the task of organising all of the meetings and to make sure that the scheduler was up to date and actively used. In addition, I had organised all additional training for myself and my team members. This training included how to use Adobe Audition, an understanding of the equipment in the audio booths and how to use it, script writing, podcast planning, and how to upload podcasts using Anchor. Through this enhanced training, I have learned a substantial amount as a producer for a podcast, hosting, and also editing podcast, in addition to sound engineering, which has helped me understand the basics of Adobe Audition. As the podcast supervisor, I had to collaborate very closely with the social media team to ensure the timings of social media posts are created to deadlines so that the podcast could achieve its full potential and be promoted. Within Gun Collective, I was asked to join another team, which was online education. Whilst in this role, I created makeup looks, gave demonstrations, and also educating viewers on how and what to do with them. The training I completed for the team was an understanding and learning of 2 main editing softwares, iMovie and Premiere Pro. Here is just some of the content that I have created while on the online education team. I also learned how to create short video formats such as Reels on Instagram and TikTok. I needed the understanding of how to create content which is concise, informative and fun for this job role. And using the training that I've been given, I have a much greater understanding and freedom to create content for social media channels.
I can't go out. I'm sick. Boo, you whore.
Hey, I'm getting ripped tonight. R.I.P. that
Killer, West Side Killer.
I've learnt quite a few skills while in my job roles. Some skills that I've learnt are written and oral communication skills, attention to detail, collaboration with others, creativity, familiarity of graphic design, multimedia and online publishing, computer, technical and organisational skills, and the ability to meet tight deadlines. Of my 100 hours, I spent 40 hours at the Serenity Room Aesthetics and Beauty Salon. And 25 of those hours I was in person and had my supervisor with me, and the remaining 15 hours I spent online via phone and video calls due to COVID regulations. I learned that I worked better when I was in person in comparison to the time spent online. My primary job role was the digital designer for the company's website. When completing every section of the website, I consulted with my supervisor to give me feedback on the content I had created. Each change I made, I had to make sure that it was within my knowledge how to do it, And if it wasn't, I would have to learn and would make me expand my skills and knowledge. By doing this, I was enhancing my own awareness of what I could achieve and also making sure that the company wanted to show on their website. I was asking questions consistently to make sure that the corrections were all correct and in line with the branding and the aesthetic of the company. My first experience. A quote from my diary. Today I was so proud of the work I had done for the website because I accomplished so much and made my supervisor proud of the work I had done. Using Driscoll's What, So What and Now What reflective method, published in 2007, I've analysed the statement. My first step, what? I sat down and had a meeting with the supervisor and had a discussion of the overview of the marketing of the company. My supervisor gave me the responsibility of highlighting areas where I could improve my social media and client experience from the consumer's point of view. So what? My supervisor at the Serenity Room did make me look at the website and think as a consumer and what I would want from a beauty and aesthetics salon, and start making a list of alterations that I would do to expand the user accessibility of the site. I made most of my opportunity and it was out of my comfort zone. Now what? By creating work like this, it was out of my comfort zone and made me feel more accomplished by having a checklist, and I could see the work I had done. If I created work for myself along the way, I would alter the checklist to fit the actions I had done. However, making lists sometimes felt very overwhelming with the amount of work I had created for myself. So, I split my work up into smaller tasks with a time contrast so I'd be able to get 3 tasks done in 45 minutes. And it worked very well and kept me consistently and frequently checking off my list and completing my tasks. My second experience. A quote from my diary. I was so frustrated that the video had been deleted. I had a lot of technical issues this week. On this occasion, it has been very difficult and I felt very disappointed because I created a look and it had corrupted. It was a very challenging situation to be put in. This has made me think a different way because my stress levels that week were very high. I am now able to analyse and reflect on this particular experience using the Graham Gibbs reflective cycle. It has been very helpful in making me understand the situation and how it can be resolved with less stress next time. The first step is description. In this particular week at Gunk Collective, I created a piece of work for the YouTube channel. Whilst editing it, the video had corrupted. My feelings about it, which is step 2. I felt like all my time creating this look was wasted. I was very upset and was about to let down my supervisors and I wouldn't be able to meet the deadline that I had created for myself. However, I persevered, created a new look, and that would be put in the backup folder if something like this ever happened again. And this is why we have reserve videos. This situation made me more motivated for the next pieces of work that I will create. This situation made me more motivated to get my next pieces of work done earlier and get more proactive and productive. The next day, I created 3 looks for the team and I got them edited and sent off with photography edited alongside it. Analysis. Reflecting on my experience, this particular time made me more aware of the amount of work I had to complete. And since then, I've made all my content early, and with enough time to refilm or re-edit the piece if there is any technical trouble with the content when I'm editing it. I would set myself tasks with a time span of creating any content so there are less hiccups. This situation was a good example of how I managed my workplace anxiety. The experience was very stressful and anxiety-inducing, and has really pushed me to see the experience through a different light. It made me use my time more effectively and act in the now to be ahead of myself, pushing my smaller deadline closer so that I have enough time I have between my small deadline and my actual deadline. My anxiety did actually motivate me to get my work done and all the things I needed to do because of this experience. Conclusion, which is the following step. Having analysed my experience, I now know that I need to look at my time management and that I thrive off small, isolated tasks and not to overwhelm myself or rush my project. I've learnt to savour my success and am aware of its effect on my self-esteem and my performance level. Overall, I know that by managing my time and anxiety is really beneficial for my workload. I have learnt that making lists and knowing my anxiety tactics, I can see how much work I can get done and the way I can manage the levels of stress that comes when something doesn't go to plan. When I do get stressed, I am very good at expressing that and communicating things I need to get done with the people around me. The motivation that my anxiety caused has really helped me while getting work done because I had a good way of going forward and it pushed me to know what I needed to get done. My action plan, which is the final step. Having had the worst possible situation happen when creating content, I will now continue making those time restraints and having open communication and keeping the amount of work I do to a relative to my other commitments. Next time I do get overwhelmed by work and get anxious about it, I need to take a step back and prioritise what I really need to do. This is also using my workplace anxiety theory. My third experience as a gunk podcast supervisor. A quote from my diary. My managerial qualities. Since having a bigger team to manage, the organisation of the team has skyrocketed and there is so much less for me to stress about. I feel like the podcast can be more regular and less haphazard. Using Donald A. Schoen's two-stage theory in 1990, thinking in action / thinking on action. Schoen's work is a seminal in relation to reflective practice, and in his text, The Reflective Practitioner, he describes two important types of reflection: reflection on action and reflection in action. Both are important for people working in minor professions, where typically there is no single correct response to a situation and no one-size-fits-all model that can be learned and applied in all situations and circumstances. Bascott 2020, page 44. The first step is reflection in action. Whilst I was looking after the whole of the podcast team practically by myself, I was finding it quite a lot to do, and it was very overwhelming. In contrast to now, where I've got more team members and my organisation while managing a team has skyrocketed. The team really has come together, and as a supervisor, I feel like that has been led by my actions and having a much more strict upload schedule. Reflection on action. By having a larger team, it has really helped me compartmentalise how much work there is, and I was able to distribute accordingly by delegating and having trust in my other team members that I knew that could get the job done, as well as I would be able to do it. They did ask for help, but that was because they were unaware how to do specific things, which I think I could have communicated better. And organising a meeting around uploads with specific people so that they could have my undivided attention so that they could learn more effectively. Overall, the work placement experience I had with the Serenity Room Aesthetics and Beauty Salon and Gunk Collective has enriched my learning using real life scenarios. My work placements have been very beneficial to my learning, allowing myself to understand my responsibility while working in industry. It has shown my leadership skills by being a supervisor of a team and a problem solver. It has enabled me to understand issues and negotiate resolutions. I've become quite comfortable and confident when using multimedia platforms such as Premiere Pro, Anchor, Canva, and in social media channels. The current ease I have while using these platforms have been acknowledged by my supervising managers in the quality of work that has been created and also published. This experience has allowed me to combine my knowledge with my practical experience in using interpersonal skills that allow me to be an effective part of the team and in a collaborative work environment. I've also learned the art of delegation. This is because in the first term I was working on my own and had to do everything within the podcast team. However, in October, I got recruited other members of the team and I had to divide and delegate the job roles, and now I've gained a full team. I was able to share and teach the tasks that went into progress of the job role. By doing both of these career avenues, I have understood the variation of job opportunities that I will be able to take on, and socially expanded my knowledge within the marketing, social media, and the importance in the passion that it had on me while designing and outputting the content. It had a great effect on my creativity and pushed my usual boundaries of the industry and also other job prospects. These opportunities have excelled my knowledge and understanding. I have an option to work full-time after my degree to be a social media and marketing advisor within my current placement that I have completed. More opportunities include a content creator, a fashion, beauty and editor, and a role within advertising and marketing. The learning style I've recognised within myself is that I'm an activist. By acting upon the present and being immediately motivated by the work that has been set out right in front of me. However, I do need to develop my consistency with work that is more long-running and to act upon communication from supervisors by learning how to sustain the amount of work that I am doing. Here is the social media that I've created as part of my branding and professionalism within my industry, such as Instagram, LinkedIn, and my professional website. I also had contracts to stick to, such as the Serenity Room Aesthetics and Beauty, and also Gunk Collectives. And here is my completed record of hours sheet.